Welcome to yet another recording of the channel Your CMA Mentor. So in today's recording, I'm going to guide you on the preparation strategy of an elective paper 20A, named Strategic Performance Management and Business Valuation. Students, this is the most scoring subject of Group 4. This is a subject which will give you the most marks of in Group 4. Basically, I have seen people scoring between a range of 70 to 80 in this subject. Only you need to follow my guidance over here, and I'm very sure that you'll score good marks in this subject. So I'll be starting by discussing the paper pattern of this subject. So basically the paper consists of two parts, Section A and Section B. Section A consists of 30 marks MCQ. In this term, June 2024 term, Institute released a new pattern in which it gives 10 MCQs each of 20 marks, and one subset of MCQ was basically a case study based MCQ in which Institute gave a case study, and related to that there were 5 questions. Each questions contained 2 marks, and basically there was overall it was a 30 marks MCQ. The second part, that is Section B, consists of 7 questions, each containing 2 subparts, out of which you have to opt 5 questions, and each questions consist of 7 marks 2 questions. That is basically 5 questions consist of each 5 question contains 14 marks individually. Okay. Now coming to the chapters to be covered, the subject is basically divided into 2 sections. Section A, which consists of SPM, and the Section B, which consists of business valuation. There are 4 chapters in Section A, that is SPM, and 5 chapters in Section B, that is business valuation. So according to me, please try to start preparation strategy. So basically I highly recommend you to start with Section B, that is business valuation, because it is a practical part and a scoring part as well. So according to me, you must start with business valuation. The first chapter you must go with is valuation of merger and acquisition. I've given you the series on how to study business valuation subject. So basically start with valuation on mergers and acquisition, which contains 15 marks questions for sure in your exams, along with some MCQs, 1 or 2 MCQs from this chapter. Then you may go to fundamentals of business valuation chapter. The next one should be the fundamentals of business valuation chapter, which is also an easy chapter. Then you can go for business valuation method and approaches chapter. And then at the end, valuation of assets and liabilities, which consist of small chapters like valuation of PP, intangibles, valuation of human resource, from which there are only 2 types of questions which can come in the exam. I'll help you out with this by releasing a video on this as well. And there are valuation of real estate, which hardly contains 2 or 3 sums, and valuation approaches. You just need to go through these chapters, so it is an easy chapter. And at the end, the Institute had released a new chapter, which is laws and compliance in business valuation, which is a very small chapter. If you have read law, then it will be a very easy going chapter for you, because it contains basic details of SARFAESI acts and IBC. Basically these 2 are the main things which are contained in this chapter. I'll also help you with this chapter by releasing a small video and notes on these chapters, on this chapter, that is law and compliance in business valuation. After completing business valuation, then I would suggest you to go for SPM. In that also, I'll tell you the series on how to study SPM subject. First, go with chapter 2, because it is a chapter which contains a majority of theory portion, and Institute gives 2 or 3 questions for sure from this chapter. This is a strategy which I followed during my exam preparation, and it was very easy going during the exam days, because I had a grip on these chapters, that is chapter 2, on this chapter, that is chapter 2. And then you can go for chapter 2. It contains one or two practical part, that is C chart. You have to draw a C chart. That is very easy going. I'll release a video on this as well. Then you can go for chapter 3 theory portion. Firstly you can start SPM by going through practical part of chapter 3, because there is a short one question in your exam from chapter 3, that is practical portion. I'll help you out with this practical portion also. I'll release a video on this portion as well. And then after completing chapter 2 and chapter 4, you can go with chapter 3 portion, theory portion. And if time permits, at the end go with chapter 1. Or what I did for chapter 1 was that I only studied comparative and common size statement question, practical questions, and that was more than enough, because from this chapter hardly one question comes from theory part. So you can easily skip chapter 1 if you want, and if you want to study you can go for it, because it is an easy chapter. It contains basics of SPM, not a very difficult one to grab. So this is the strategy what I followed, and it was very helpful for me during the exam, and the paper went quite well. Also, I would suggest students please go with RTP, MTPs and past year questions, because in CMA Institute repeats questions to greater extent, and I have seen that exactly the same questions come in the exams with only number changes. So please firstly solve, what I would suggest you is firstly solve the Institute Math questions, the entire questions given in Institute Math for practical parts, and then go with past year question papers, 2 to 3 years past question papers, you go with that, and then you go with MTPs and RTPs. So one more suggestion, students, please do remember institute material is a key to the success. Do not skip any questions from the study material. This will help you out very much. And if you liked this video and my suggestions, then do hit a like button, do subscribe to my channel, and please I'll be releasing many more videos regarding CMA Final Group 3 and Group 4 preparation. So stay updated with this channel. Thank you so much. Hopefully you like this video. Bye.